Lowe's return policy is so terrible. I recommend don't buy anything there at all. Look at this. Return policy. Most already, using the word most means not all, but it's vague. So already they can deny pretty much anything they want. New and unused merchandise, meaning if you open the package, they can deny the return. Then you might have to provide proof of purchase. And within 90 days of the original purchase date, here's a huge problem for anything custom ordered or purchased online. What that means is if there's a delay in shipping or you have to schedule an install of the product before you receive it, and you receive it, let's say it takes 3 months for you to get it due to COVID delays or whatever, their policy is too bad, you're stuck with it. If you don't like it, you don't like the product or whatever, they can tell you cannot return it after 90 days. I think each store manager might make some exceptions, but the one I'm at, Port Charlotte, Florida, definitely don't shop there, because my experience is they're holding to this right here. I ordered some custom shades to be custom installed, and it took several months for me to receive the item and get them installed. And there are out of 18 shades, I spent approximately $3,500 on custom shades, and it's been a terrible experience. There are only 3 shades out of the 18 that I wanted at this point. I want to return or exchange, and they deny exchanging anything. They won't allow it anymore because I already exchanged 1 out of the 18, and the other 2 they're denying it. And her name's Robin in the shades in the they call it home decor. So I don't recommend going there. So what this means is I filed a complaint with the Better Business Bureau against them, and somebody from Lowe's executive team from their, I guess it's corporate office somewhere in North Carolina or somewhere, she called me. We've spent a lot of time on the phone, and she was not reasonable to deal with at all. The phone calls are recorded, so if Lowe's wants to, I don't know. Anyway, so let me get back on track here with this. But what basically happened is Lowe's refuses to allow me to return anything within 90 days of receiving the item. And I was speaking with Deborah and Lowe's executive team, who handles complaints that are filed with the Better Business Bureau about that. I said, isn't that wrong? Don't you think that's wrong? What if it takes you 90 days to receive something, you don't like it, you can't return it? Do you think that's right? And she basically told me she's afraid to lose her job if she agrees with my statement. So she's going to be a puppet with Lowe's. This is not exactly what she said, but this is definitely can be interpreted as to the effect of what she told me, is that she's selling her soul to Lowe's because she's afraid she's going to lose her job and can't pay her rent. That's really sorry. So I sent her an email saying, I think that's really sorry of you, that you're selling your soul to Lowe's and you're not doing the right thing. And I threatened them with court. So I don't know how this is going to go. Even though their return policy is written here, that doesn't mean they have to abide by it, because I can still take them to court and claim that this is unreasonable. It is not customary. There's no other business. If you try to find another business with this return policy from the purchase date rather than when you received it, it could be pretty hard to find. I know Costco specifically says electronics from 90 days of when you receive it, or to that effect. So that I don't recommend buying anything at Lowe's. Go to Home Depot, but check the return policy. Costco is probably has the Costco and Sam's Club, maybe BJ's, have the best return policy I've ever seen anywhere in any business. Usually no hassle to return with them. Sometimes there can be a long line, usually not real long. I think the most is usually going to be about 10 minutes. So they're pretty good about it. And they'll take back just about damn near anything. Sam's Club in Port Charlotte has been difficult with me. Port Charlotte, Florida. I don't recommend buying anything there. Or if you do, don't try to return it there unless it's clear that they have to take it back. It's been within 90 days and you have the original packaging. Otherwise, they could be a real stickler about some things. So anyway, what do you think about this? Do you think this is unethical for a business to have this kind of a return policy right here? And I think it used to be 30 days, now it's 90 days. This is extremely vague. This is not their whole return policy. I'm just highlighting the first part of it because the rest of it's not that relevant. Because if you can't get past this first part, there's no point in buying anything from those bastards. So I wouldn't buy anything there anymore. I'm not going to buy anything from Lowe's anymore. I'm going to Home Depot as much as possible for my hardware and all those type of needs. I think Home Depot also have many problems with them. The installers they recommend for air conditioner system has been an extremely unethical company. I'm going to put on pause while I think of. Well, anyway, so they recommended a company that did some very unethical things when they came out. So be careful who you can't trust. There's so many con artists. Just be careful about going under the brand name of Home Depot to have an installer do something that. If you've had a good experience with Home Depot, that doesn't mean you're going to have a good experience with the installer they recommend. Keep in mind, these are usually all greedy bastard abusers of capitalism trying to con you into something to make money at your expense. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they are ethical and they do a great job. But here around the Northport, Port Charlotte area of Florida, there are a lot of con artists who came down here from the north because they lost their license or whatever. And so they're trying to take advantage of people like me who have early retirement privileges to move down here without having to work for money. So just be really careful about those situations. And notice the first part of the Lowe's return policy is just bullshit. It just means absolutely nothing. No partner would have this kind of language on a return policy. They're not a partner. And Deborah with Executive Relations said she was amicable with me. The definition of amicable is basically friendly. No friend would be like she was on the phone with me. So they're all just going by what they're trained to say, just BS. To just try to BS their way out of a situation. So I'd be very, very careful. I would not recommend buying from Lowe's if you do out of desperation because that's the only hardware store you have around, or you don't want to drive an extra 10 minutes for Home Depot if that's your situation, or you hate Ace Hardware like I do in some ways. Just be really careful about this 90 days. And keep in mind, this most new unused automatically gives them some possibility to reject your return if you even if you opened it up and didn't even use it, they could reject it. Open package. That's pretty bad. They suck so bad. Oh, they're terrible. I don't recommend Lowe's.